Before she was a founder, Hayley Kay was a survivor of coercive control, legal gaslighting, and a system that told her, "We don't have time for your story." After fleeing an abusive relationship and seeking protection through family court and police, Hayley found herself trapped in a new kind of isolation, overwhelmed by evidence no one would read and surrounded by silence from those sworn to protect her. What began as a journal in a refuge, scrawled while her children slept, would grow into Still Proof Legal, an AI-powered platform that helps domestic violence survivors organize and present their evidence in a way that is clear, legally formatted, and impossible to ignore. It started with a pen and paper, in a locked refuge. In the middle of the night, Hayley Kay didn't set out to build software. She set out to be heard. Still Proof wasn't designed in a boardroom. It was born in trauma, refined in survival, and tested in silence. Still Proof began with a question, one Hayley asked herself over and over while staring at a mountain of ignored evidence.
And I think that's the reality for a lot of women leaving those sort of relationships, especially where the abuse is really deep and dark and not necessarily physical all the time, where there's a high level of control.
What survivors needed wasn't just safety, it was clarity, simplicity, and validation.
Because everyone, and there are people out there doing amazing things with trying to make reforms and everything like that for women, but I just knew that we need something now. And we need something that's practical and also easy to use, because when you've been traumatized to that level, your brain doesn't always function the way you need it to understand legal and everything like that as well.
Still Proof takes the overwhelming and makes it readable. It takes chaos and translates it into legal language the system can finally understand.
I knew I needed something that could be engineered to be trauma informed and understand the language so that we could, Still Proof, I needed something that was going to create reports on the evidence, that's sort of like a cover page that said to police, that said to courts, in here is what is here, if that makes sense. So the patterns of coercive control, which often lead to physical violence, they can be tracked. These patterns don't just start, like, these people don't just, one day they're lovely and the next day they're abusing you.
The app doesn't just summarize, it recognizes. It analyzes the patterns of abuse and explains them with clarity that survivors are rarely allowed to achieve.
If I could make something that identified those patterns that could be legally admissible and legally understood, but still staying trauma-informed so these processes aren't re-traumatizing women, that we were making a step ahead, that women could potentially get the help.
Still Proof is engineered to match legal precision with human experience. The language of law and the language of trauma, finally speaking the same sentence.
So judges that don't want to read pages and pages of text messages or journal entries, for example, can go, okay, well, I'll just read the report from here, if that makes sense. So the report, without having to look at all the evidence, there's extractions, there's pattern identification, and it cites. So in Queensland, it's the Queensland domestic violence legislation, which was last updated in 2012. And it cites those legislations, so you can point out exactly where the breaches of those laws actually were. So the judges and the police can't deny what you are putting in front of them. If you are citing it, showing them exactly where those breaches are of the law, then they can't turn you away, realistically, because it's right there in front of them. We're not asking them to do the work. We're doing that part of the work for them so they can do the legal side of it easily without re-traumatizing the victim.
Still Proof was built for survivors, but it's already transforming how legal professionals understand their stories.
So we are making sure, at the moment we're only looking at Australian rollout, but we want to go international, and that will be a process of engineering, continuously updating that AI so that it is informed with the lead, so the user can pick their location, so that it's using the correct AI for their jurisdiction or where they're going to be attending court, whether it's family court or magistrate's court for domestic violence matters or criminal matters. So it's going to be completely informed to where that person's located and the relevant courts and laws for that state or country.
Survivors don't need more burden. They need tools that lift the ones they already carry.
Instead of I had to use an app called iMazing to download all my text messages from my abuser, which cost me like $70. These people will be able to use, so integrated into the app is a platform like that. They will be able to just pick the conversation that they want to upload into the chat, into the app, and they will have all their text messages on there ready to be analysed by the AI system and form reports. It's taking the overwhelm and the overcomplication of what's needed out for someone who's working in a trauma, probably still very freeze mode in their brain. They're still in survival mode. They've got a lot going on, and this shouldn't have to be part of it to prove what's being done to them. But I want to simplify it. I want to make it easy. I want to make it, and my long term is for legal professionals to also use the app so that survivors can easily share this information with their solicitors. They shouldn't be doing this. They should be healing. They should be spending the time healing. They should be getting the help they need. And the gap in the system is massive.
Still Proof isn't just about AI. It's about justice and giving survivors the one thing they've been denied again and again, the right to be understood.